real quick before we begin, this is actually my I think this is my third time. No, it's my fourth time recording this tutorial because the first time I did it, I actually broke it. The second time I did it, I filmed the whole thing in webcam view, forgot to screen record. The third time I did it, the audio was completely unusable. So I have fine-tuned my old microphone, and I am very delicate right now. I really care about getting this right. Let's go. Let's make a board game. So, hey, here we are in this. Last time we introduced a bug. It's a very quick fix. I'd be a little surprised if you didn't fix it on your own. It's pretty easy to figure out. Let's look at it. Click who goes first. All right, there's the bug. The dice is gone. Bye, dice. That's it. Our game is broken forever. Just kidding. You remember when I told you about how canvas layers kind of move with the camera? Now that we have a camera and it does move, we can just make dice a child of the canvas layer, and it should move with the HUD, right? See. Cannot operate on nodes the current scene inherits from. I'm in main 2. Main 2 inherits from... It should be main. Mine is pink piece. Remember, I doo-dooed up somehow. I don't know how. So now let me take dice, drag it as a child of canvas layer, save it. Oh, look at that. It populated in main 2 as well, so it's fine. So I'm going to hit run. Everything's going to be great. That dice is going to move along with. Just kidding. I knew that would happen. Why did it break? Invalid access to property or key can click on a base object of type null instance. Ridiculous! The dice is right there. That's not null. When we declare dice on ready bar dice, this tells Godot to look for a child. Let me stop. The program is driving me crazy. A child of main that's called dice. Well, we've got board, pink piece. None of these count because they're not children of main. They're children of pink piece. Blue piece, spots, timer, canvas layer. None of these count. Audio stream player and music. We have to redefine it. It's not a big deal. I'm going to drag dice in without holding control. And Godot will just do that definition for me. Now let's watch. I'm going to turn the audio like way down in OBS so it's not terribly distracting. Blue piece is going to go. Chugga, chugga, chugga. We're going to watch and see if this dice moves with us. And it does. Nice. We did it. We fixed it. No more problems forever. We're going to fancy the camera up a little bit. Right now, the camera... I should have let that play. You saw it last episode. The camera snaps between the two pieces, and that's fine. If you like that, keep it. Love it. See you next week. If you don't like that, let me show you in webcam view. Come over here with me. Welcome to webcam view. Here's pink piece and blue piece. I know, only the best for you. All right, so let's pretend rolly, it goes. Blue piece gets to go. And blue piece, his camera enables. And the camera follows him. Is limited, so it doesn't scroll, but let's say blue piece winds up here. When the turn switches, blue piece's camera disables. We can't see out of it anymore. Pink piece's camera enables, and then we can see pink piece go wherever. Here's what we're going to do. I want the camera, instead of just like flipping instantly, I want the camera to instead keep my pieces together. move smoothly to the next piece, and then move smoothly back so we get that lovely transition. To do this, let me show you. I've got a camera on blue, got a camera on pink. Let me disable the pink camera. We're going to use a third camera. This thing will start the game wherever. It doesn't matter. It'll probably start up here at origin. And it'll start disabled. So blue will do its little turn on the catwalk. Blue will stay here. When it is pink's turn, blue will disable itself. This transition camera will move wherever blue is, turn itself on, gently glide over to wherever pink is, turn itself off, and turn pink's camera on. Do you remember, because I know you know this, if we are gradually moving between two values, position's a value, if we're gradually doing that, what's the trick? You remember how we get the pieces to move? Yeah, boy, we're going to tween it. Let's go. Let's go back. I got this trick from this video, Smooth Camera Transition 2D and 3D in Godot, under 5 minutes from Mr. Elpteach, I hope. I am going to be cleaning his code up some, simplifying it a little bit. His also does 3D, if you're interested in that. We're not doing 3D right now. I think this tutorial is in Godot 3.5. So it's a little different in 4, but it's not like stunningly different in 4. Let's go to Godot. I'll show you. All right, come into main, highlight the main node. See the instantiate button? Clicky, clicky. We are going to instantiate that third camera. It's going to be a transition camera. There it is. Ooh, took me too long. I'm even going to call it transition camera. Real quick, I'm going to open up camera 2D and I'm going to copy it. Down here where I've got transition camera highlighted, very important. Down here where it says script, I'm going to click the little arrow and I'm going to clear the script. Goodbye. I'm going to give it a new script. Transition camera.gd. And I'm going to paste everything that I took out of camera into here. Hold that comment. I know what you're about to say. Let me cook. The very first thing that I'm going to do is I want this thing disabled when we start. And I don't trust myself. This is my, fifth time recording this tutorial. I am a mess. I don't trust that I won't just accidentally click it and then break my entire game. So as a failsafe, I'm going to disable this camera on Funk Ready. Hello. It's enabled. See? Because I know myself well enough to know that I need that. Some of you, I could feel it. We're like, you can like right click and then it's called extend script and it'll keep all of this and then you could just type more script. Because if you extend the script and then you type Funk Ready, I'm going to do it this way just so it doesn't yell at me. And then that will not extend Funk Ready, that'll overwrite it. That is a bug that I encountered. So, like, I know that this isn't the single most ideal use of the software, but we're going to do it. We need a couple other variables up here. I need to know when the camera is moving or if the camera is moving. So let's give ourselves a little bool. For transitioning, it's a bool. I started it false because when this camera starts up, it should not be moving. I'm going to export this variable because you know I love doing things in the editor. Bar transition. And I'm going to default this to 1. If you want it slower, faster, whatever, that's a you thing. Let me type it too. Let's write. It just takes one function to get this thing to work. Ready? I'm going to call it transition camera. I'm going to use a capital D. We need to know what camera we're going from. So I'm going to call it from. Yep. We need to know what camera we're going to. Easy. And this returns void. As it doesn't return a value, it moves the camera. At the start, if this camera is already moving, don't move it again. We should not hit this code if we're actually transitioning, but, you know, famous last words, may as well make it good. If transitioning, if I'm moving, return. Get out of this. Sometimes when I'm giving directions in order and I'm not 1000% sure what I'm typing, I know what I'm typing because I've got it written over on another screen, but this is still a good technique to learn. I make myself a list of what I'm doing in comments. That way, if in the middle of coding, somebody comes up and talks to me, or I have to go to the bathroom, a cat does something stupid, I still have it written out so I remember. So we worked this out in webcam view. The first thing this camera has to do is move to the spot it's transitioning from, right? Move to the camera where... And then we got to, whoops. We've got to turn ourselves on and the other guy off, right? It's too enabled. It's not on and off. We got to move. Then we got to switch cameras, right? So if you weren't clear before, I hope this clears it up. This like nice little in order directional sort of thinking. So, okay, we got to move to the camera that we're transitioning from. We got to go over to blue piece or pink piece, but let's just say blue piece. Our spot in the world is called global position, and we want it to equal the other camera's global position. Easy. All right, we got to look at the other guy and go, look at me. I'm the camera now. So we got to turn from to disabled. Yep, that's right. We got to turn ourselves on. And we are moving now, so we do need to turn that bool on. Move. How did I say we were moving? A tween. Yes, thank you. If you are a little shaky on tweens, you can literally go to main GD and look at how we use them in the move function. It's pretty much the same thing. We got to make ourselves a tween. We're just going to call it tween. All right. We got to tell Godot what we want to tween. What? Hello, tween dot. Tween property. Object, we want to move us. Self. Property, we want to move the global position. Our final, we're moving to another camera, so we need to move to the global position of the to camera. If I type it out, does that make more sense? We're going to move at transition speed. And again, if you don't like the transition speed that I have, please change it. I want the game to stop until this tween is what? Argument 2 should be... Oh, this needs to be a string. My doo-doo. Got it. I want Godot to wait until all this is done. It's our good friend await. I don't think I can... Huh. I didn't think I could have a space there. It's letting me do it. I'm still going to delete the space. We're not done. Look at our list. We've got to flip ourselves off. We've got to flip the other guy on. So it's just like this. 2.enabled equals true. Us. Enabled equals false. Transitioning. We are no longer... Hello. No longer moving. So this function is nice. It currently isn't called anywhere, so it's currently not going to really do anything. Let's go into main.gd. Down here in func, whose turn is it? I'm a master namer. What can I say? I'm going to take out the camera code that we put in last time. And really, I can take out other P's. And I'm just commenting them simply because maybe I get this transition camera in here and I hate how it looks and I want the old way back, so I could just uncomment everything. If you're absolutely sure you want the code gone, then delete it, but I would comment it first. We have to call it somewhere. I'm going to take a little walk up here to turn label switcher. And I think this is probably a better place to deal with the camera anyway, when the turn switches. So it'll flip whatever turn to whatever piece, and then it'll move the camera, right? So we need a reference to transition camera if we're going to talk to it. Up here in declaration, click, drag, control, drop, nailed it, love it. Oh my god. Come back down here to turn label switcher. Okay, if it's the pink piece's turn, we want to move from the blue piece to the pink piece, right? So, hey, transition camera. I want to call transition camera 2D. And don't forget, we call it with a capital D. If you get a crash, that's the first thing I check is, did you type this? We're moving front. Look at the look at the function. We've got a from, we're moving from, we've got to pass that in, and we've got to pass in too. So we're moving from blue piece, because it's pink piece's turn. We're on the blue piece. Camera to 2D, and this one we left lowercase. Sorry. To the pink piece's camera. Dot camera 2D. And I actually think we have underscores in this. Ta-da! Now if it's blue's turn, we got to do the opposite. Transition camera dot transition camera 2D, capital letters, pink piece. Dot camera underscore 2D. We got moving from the pink piece to the blue piece. Underscore 2D. Like that. Okay. Now it's called. Let's come over here to main 2 where we have most of our camera drama, and let's watch. Okay, wait. I've made a bug. You have to do one other thing before you run it. We have to do this in main 2. See on main, the transition camera, right click it, editable children. Right now, I think, yeah, top left and bottom right are both sitting in the corridor, so the transition camera can only go here. Totally not what we want, right? So top left's where we want it. That's the top left. Bottom right, I'm going to highlight it. Do you see the gray letters that say bottom right? I'm going to hold Alt. See how I've got bottom right highlighted in the scene tree over here? I'm going to hold Alt. I'm going to drag bottom right over to the bottom right. And it's going to be there. Now in main 2, it's probably going to be over here. Yeah, because it inherited from main 1. I'm going to highlight it in the scene tree, hold Alt, even though I actually don't think there's anything there. Nailed it. Okay, now that we've got everything in position, it's gonna work, right? It's gonna work, right? Let's do it. Oh yeah, look at it work. Look at it work. Bye, blue piece. Bye. Have a nice life. We're just gonna be up here having a game. I want to see what the transition does. So in the worst way, our transition does work. We've introduced a bug. We're not turning the pink piece or the blue piece's camera on. Let me come back to main. It gets turned on when we transition because that is what we coded, but we took out all the stuff that like actually turns it on. All right, think with me. We've got this little scene that it rolls for first, right? And then it says blue piece or pink piece. It figures that out for us. And then it sends it to main in this little events emit signal send piece. So let's look at main. It receives send piece and it runs on send piece. So this is the point when main knows who gets what, right? This is probably the point when we should turn somebody's camera on. So if it's the pink piece, pink piece, camera 2D, Raji 2D, dot enabled equals true. Otherwise, if it's not pink, it's blue. Blue piece dot camera underscore 2D lowercase enabled equals true. And that should solve that. Let's watch. What? What? Shut up. That looked so good. You can stop here if you want. And this would be such a valid game. Congratulations on your million Steam sales, right? If you want that Mario Party zoom, let's do it. I had a request for this. Go back into transition camera. It's not that terribly hard to add. I'm going to export a variable that says zoom amount. And I'm going to make it a vector 2. Have we done vector 2s? Vector 2s are just like an x and a y coordinate. And I'm going to make them 1.5 and 1.5. When I tested it, this was the amount of zoom that I liked. You like it differently. Guess what? I exported it. Now we come down here to where we do our tweening. After we get to the piece, right? So we've gotten to pink piece or blue piece or green piece. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to tween the zoom. So, okay, tween dot tween property. If you look on camera, zoom is a property. We can tween any of this stuff. And here's zoom, and we could tween it. No laws. Zoom. I want to tween it by the zoom amount that I defined. And we're going to do that at transition speed too. Again, if you hate that, change it. So that's going to zoom us in. Hello. To zoom out, we're going to have to make a new tween. I tried it on this tween. It's done with me. It will not hear my nonsense anymore. Or zoom. I mean, I'm just going to call it zoom tween. Got to make it. Zoom tween. Hello. Zoom tween. You got to take us out, buddy. Tween property. We want ourselves. Still doing zoom. So y'all know I hate hard-coded numbers, but I feel okay about this one. The default zoom is 1:1. I don't know, if you really feel like exporting the default zoom, then you know how. And I gotta put a comma. Oops. We're just gonna do that at transition speed as well. And I don't want anyone to move until zoom tween is also finished. Hello. Oh, wait. Zoom. Dot finish. Let's see what I broke. Huh? 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 Did you see that zoom? Ah. Okay. Real quick. There is a property called, after I create my tween dot set parallel. And I would set that to true. What this does, in theory, is instead of us neatly zipping over to the other piece and then zooming in and then zooming out, this would do this both at the same time. And it does, let me show you. Yeah, it makes a weird bungle that I just don't really like. What I think is going on is when the camera zooms in, at some point it bounces off of the limits, and then it just kind of goes boing, 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 and then over the pink piece and boing, 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 boing. I think if you want this parallel property, I think you're either going to have to ditch the limits and make a bunch of assets to make this look pretty, so that it can be perfectly centered on pink piece or blue piece. Or you could maybe set the limits like huge, but I don't know what you'd get out of that. Like you would have to give up this perfect vertical scroll that we have. I don't want to. If you want that, I've given you some stuff to play with, so I trust you to figure it out from there. Anyway, I've given you plenty to play with on a camera. If you have hung with me this far, thank you. This was not beginner stuff, so if you felt okay doing this tutorial, you're not a beginner in Godot anymore. I'm declaring it. Hey, real quick before you scoot, I started a Buy Me a Coffee, which is like Ko-fi or Ko-fi and Patreon, like if they had a baby. I decided to try it. If you are in a position and you are able and willing, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/beanbunny and you can give me something. You do not feel obligated. If it's money that you had missed, don't. But if you want to, it's there, and I would appreciate it greatly. You have an excellent one. You take care of yourself. I will see you next time. I'm gonna touch grass. I can't with this anymore.